You got to be resilient, though. You can't give up. And that is the same in real estate. You can't give up. I just saw a news story on CBS where they're tracking a wannabe homeowner in New Jersey who's made 30 offers and just is getting outbid. And you know what? They're saying millennials are getting outbid by empty nesters for the same properties with homes because the rates are starting to go down a little bit, Ed.
Absolutely.
And when rates go down, inventory becomes limited, right?
Well, absolutely. And we've talked in the past, this market, and I think nationally, it's very rate sensitive. So we've talked about the rates themselves, which are absolutely starting to go down, and then the news around rates. And so this is a really big week. And you're right, as rates go down, inventory goes down. But we've been for a couple of months now above sort of that 10,000 active units on the market. And we haven't seen that for well over 10 years.
Okay.
And so what we're really interested now is as soon as rates come down meaningfully, and that is beginning to happen, what happens with absorption? And I think the feeling is, because the truth of it is we're still in a housing shortage, you're going to see absorption eat up a lot of that inventory very quickly. And come next spring, there's going to be folks that go, gosh, I had 10,700 homes to choose from, and now that's like 6,000, and now that's incredibly difficult to get your offer accepted if you don't have big down payments. And you're right, the empty nesters, in many cases, you've sold a home, you got a big chunk to put down. Of course, that's going to be more attractive to a seller than someone with a minimum down payment.
But this is why, and can you believe it was a year ago, basically today, Ed, I got blown out of the last place. And, I remember I did call. Yeah. Well, it's the anniversary is actually tomorrow, but, and you were one of the first people I actually called that day. You were, and it was like, Ed, it happened. And we knew that, but I think the key, first of all, you and I had been talking about it literally for more than 2 years. It was a lot, to the degree, and I've told you this before, that I was like, I would tell Kim, my wife, and I don't think Ed believes me because, I keep saying this stuff and we're not doing anything. But no, I was always being honest about what we had planned to do. And I think it's because we had this conversation for so long, and your advice was fascinating. You're like, hey man, let's hang on for a little bit because now isn't the exact right time if we can. Do you remember that? Do you remember those conversations you had with me?
I remember the conversation, this conversation at the dinner table, at your home. And I think we owe that to our clients. And there is some objective truth when you just look at sort of the economics of things. And to that point, we've got a lot of people holding at this very moment. Not months, not even weeks, but because tomorrow we get the cut. We have been talking about this for, my friends at this point got to be like, okay, we get it. But the cut's going to come tomorrow. And the difference, I think, between 25 basis points and 50 basis points is huge. And what we're talking about is the Fed making a cut to the federal funds rate, which correlates with borrowing getting cheaper. Right now, the feeling is that it's sort of 50-50. It could go either way. But if it goes with that bigger cut, you will see a huge pop in activity because, again, folks are really rate sensitive, and that would really show a lot of optimism around rates coming down. So that hold pattern, just like it did a year ago, sometimes it's the makes the most sense.
All right, but this is why I'm telling you to just start a conversation with Ed, Prather.com. I know a lot of people say, I can't do it. I don't know. Just call. Just reach out. That's it.
Absolutely.
And just start a relationship with somebody that I trust and work for me and that, we love here with Kill You with Truth and who's going to do right by you. And it doesn't have to happen overnight. Ed and his team will work with you patiently throughout the entire process. That's what you take pride in.
Well, absolutely. And I think you make a good point because for one, every situation's different. And if nothing else, I think what we really focus on and really love is just providing context, providing information. I mean, it's hard to look through a crystal ball, but we can talk about, hey, this is what we're seeing. And if your goals are X, Y, and Z, hey, here are our options. And that doesn't need to be tomorrow. This doesn't need to be a fire drill. And we look at it as, buying or selling a home already is stressful enough. We want to make it easier and simpler. And a big part of that is starting the conversation sooner and just, hey, what are the goals, so we know them and we can get ahead of them and do our best to hit them.
All right, pal. I'll talk to you next week. You're the best. Let's see what happens tomorrow. And we take it from there. See you, pal. I'll see you, Ed.
All right. See you, dude.